I don't know. What's up, everybody? Gonna try something a little bit new. I said that I was gonna try this. I don't know if I should do this with headphones on or headphones off. I'm gonna try it with headphones off. Less distraction. I can hear myself a little bit better. Way back in the day, I used to do kind of just like a video about competitive Call of Duty, basically, where I would just sit, at a table, and I called it Around the Bar. I would have an alcoholic drink because I had just turned 21, and just talk about things. And they're still on my channel from way back in the day. Like, I remember it was like one of my first videos that got 1,000 views, and I was like, oh, bitch, we made it. It's called Around the Bar. And then whenever I started doing daily vlogs in the OpTic house, I transitioned from Around the Bar videos as one-off videos and put them into my vlogs, because I was planning on putting everything into my vlogs. And then I found out that vlogging every single day when you have other responsibilities is a very, very hard thing to do. And I thought I could do it because I thought I was a young Casey Neistat, but turns out I cannot. So that's what we're going to do. I decided as the last transition, hopefully the last transition of Around the Bar, I figured I could make it into my own little podcast type ordeal, where I sit down and I talk a lot about like a small amount of things, or a lot about a bunch of different random type things where it turns into a rant or things like that. So for all we had lying around the house was Malibu and I think this is cranberry juice. So a rum cranberry, or is it? No, not cranberry. It's like cranberry mango or something. I don't know. It's going to be super fruity, super sweet. But cheers to everyone out there. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely let me know what you're drinking down in the comments. I got a new mic. That's probably why it sounds a little different. It has all these different effects on it. So whenever I'm streaming, I can tune into all these different effects during like different funny times on the stream. Like, look, radio. This is the radio feature. Then I can also make my voice super deep,
like so. I'm talking as if I'm a male.
And there's also a female feature.
I turned into a pretty girl, a very pretty girl.
I don't know. It's just a bunch of different things. I thought it was fun. It's called the Tascam Mini Studio. Look that up if that's the mixtape you want. And then also I got a Spark with it, so a little bit of an upgrade as far as audio goes. I definitely wanted it for my bot tournament, which was this past Saturday. It turned out so great, so great. A lot better than I wouldn't say better than I expected, but just as I expected. I got all the love in the world on the stream, and then the bot tournament ran smoothly. A lot of funny bot moments happened, and just everything went according to plan, and I really do appreciate that. Sorry for the pause there. I was taking a little bit of a sip of my drink. I learned a lot this week. I ended up putting the Flycast on SoundCloud, which then gave me the ability to put it on iTunes. So the Flycast is on SoundCloud and iTunes. The OpTic podcast is also on SoundCloud and has been submitted to iTunes. I needed a certain icon for that, and I have applied, I guess would be the right word, both of those podcasts to Spotify as well. So we're on our way. It only took a year. To be honest, I just didn't know how to get it up on iTunes, and now the key is Spotify. Apparently you have to have like one like local place to put it, and that place can't be YouTube because you have to have something called an RSS like key, like a stream. It's like a Twitch stream key, but it's an RSS key, and then all of your podcasts are uploaded through that. It's really weird. It's not something that I thought you would be able to just upload it as if it was a YouTube video, like straight to iTunes, but that's not the case. So I think once I haven't uploaded a podcast to the SoundCloud since I've put it on iTunes. So I don't know if I just put it straight onto SoundCloud, if it immediately goes to iTunes. I don't know. We'll see. And then hopefully Spotify. Apparently the Spotify application process and acceptance process is a lot more difficult than the iTunes one. So I guess fingers crossed the Flycast gets in. I know, I'm pretty positive the OpTic podcast is going to get in there because it's OpTic. But the Flycast, who knows, you know? And if I guess if I put the OpTic podcast onto Spotify and iTunes, I might as well go back and put every single podcast that we've done on there, or should I just keep it from here? I don't know what would be best, because there have been a lot of podcasts that, you know, we'd have to go back and submit, but that's pretty exciting. And you know, as far as content for my personal channel, I'm sorry if you can hear Sam in the background, she's streaming. As far as my personal channel and personal content that I'm planning on doing, I think still vlogs every once in a while. I'm going to try immediately after this. I'm going to try to locally record some gameplay, which is kind of scary for me. I'm going to locally record some gameplay and upload it with the Team Summertime guys and see if I can edit it pretty well and see if it does well on my channel. Every once in a while, gameplay does well on my channel, and also every once in a while it does very, very poorly. So we shall see. But hopefully with it being Blake and George playing some Fortnite, people will enjoy it. A lot has been changing lately in OpTic. A lot has been changing in YouTube and in Infinite and in esports and all over the place. There's been a lot of concerns that are just now becoming concerns to fans because I don't know what it would be. I guess it would be the TP situation. And then there's also been a lot of announcements throughout Twitter and Reddit and things like that, talking about Infinite. And I'm surprised it's just now becoming a thing. I thought a lot of this stuff I learned about probably early November. I think early November would be when I learned about it. So I learned about it very, very, very late, when a lot of these people had already been hired. And, I walked into the offices for the first time and I saw that it was the Infinite offices and, you know, a ton of people there, you know, repping Infinite gear. And I had, you know, absolutely no idea who they were. So it was a big learning process for me. A big, you know, trying to figure out exactly what all is going on here in Frisco. That's I think that's why I know you've heard me talk about how like in the Flycast or in the podcasts, how November and December were very stressful, particularly December, probably one of the most stressful months of my life, is because just moving down here and figuring out, you know, moving completely your entire life down to Frisco. And then also while you're doing that, trying to figure out where you fit in an organization that you've been a part of for 2 years. It's very difficult. And it's something that I wasn't, I guess, planning on having to do, but you know, some things just you have no control over. And I think it's going really well. The move, the incorporation of working together with other companies under Infinite, I think it's going really well so far as far as my side of things, and the company that I fall under and the company that all of my friends fall in. Like it's a lot of stuff. There's a lot that somebody had to literally draw it up on a whiteboard for me to figure out what all was going on. And I'm trying to be, I know I'm being vague and that's probably very annoying for a lot of you guys, but there's stuff that I don't want to officially announce or talk about, but it's all out there on the internet. It's all free knowledge, public access knowledge that you can all look up. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Infinite is basically the company that OpTic falls under now, and then there's a lot of sister and brother companies beside that. So, and obviously with and it's a good thing. Like it's not a negative thing at all. I mean, people were begging for infrastructure within OpTic for 3 years, ever since I got there, ever since the Vision hype died down. Because for the first 5 episodes, people were talking about how it was the next big thing. Vision was the documentary that was going to save COD, and that I should go ahead and put it on Netflix. And then if you go back and watch the first 5 episodes, they're absolute garbage compared to Visions nowadays. But ever since that hype died down, people have been saying that OpTic has been behind the times, whether it be in content or infrastructure or esports. Other than our COD team, or just the fact that we didn't have a League of Legends team and we didn't have a Dota team or a Counter-Strike team for a little bit there, that we were just behind the times and that we should have infrastructure and all this stuff. And people were asking for that. A lot of people, a lot of sponsors were asking for that. A lot of people in the scene are very hesitant to get involved with any organization that is not in those big games, those games that treat their esport as if it is traditional sports. And, so it's something that had to happen with OpTic. And I think it has been a very positive thing. I mean, you look around, we have Overwatch teams, or we have an Overwatch team. We have a League of Legends team. Like I'm thinking more of like not just OpTic, because if you're thinking about Infinite, and it's all in one building. Like the OpTic offices aren't the OpTic offices, it's the Infinite offices, and then there are going to be OpTic offices eventually one day. Like that. I think that was what was a little bit I guess skewed as far as perception, is that everybody kept saying the OpTic offices, but that was just an easier way of describing what these offices were going to be. So eventually there's going to be this playground of an office where we walk in and we do this like Dude Perfect type video explaining everything. And this is going to be the new norm where you're going to see people vlogging and people doing content, but we just don't have that right now. We actually just looked at a temporary spot within the offices now that I think would be amazing if we end up getting, and it'll give the viewers that sense of like home when it comes to OpTic content, because obviously 60/50 the home was in front of the refrigerator, everybody doing videos on the island. That was home for them. And then in the Scuff House, there was a bunch of different places that were home, most likely in the kitchen, or also downstairs, like around the pool table and the ping pong table. It's really important for people that are watching YouTube videos you have to find the fine line between giving them something they're comfortable in seeing and not giving them repetitive content. And it's very hard to do. So you have to give them, unique content within the same space. And right now we're just looking for that same space to give them content in. So that on my side of the things, that's what I'm thinking about. And that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to put together like a 7-day content plan. And by the way, Hex leaked my whiteboard, put it all, and next day I know it's all over Reddit. People have all my ideas. Now all these other esports teams are going to steal them. That's a joke. But yeah, I mean, I can go ahead and talk about some of those, I guess. Gameplay is going to be coming back in 2018. We're going to, for a very long time, Hex was super hesitant about putting gameplay on OpTic Nation because of the sniper team and because of how lazy people can be with gameplay videos. And I'd say the only way that people can get away with it is if you're really, really funny, or if you're really, really good. And that only gets you so far, and that only builds personal brands, in my opinion. So if we're doing centralized OpTic content, we're going to have to base gameplay around, the environment of playing as a group within OpTic. So you're going to see different people in OpTic that people always want, the number one thing whenever I'm streaming a battle royale game is, yo, call Big T. Yo, get Big T in here. Why isn't Maniac playing duos with you? And it's like, well, this is my time to play video games, and I'm not gonna call up Big T, like a big timer. Why did I say Big T like that? I'm not gonna call up Will, who I haven't talked to in the past 5 to 6 months, and say, yo, you want to play some BR together for my stream? Doesn't really work that way. But this, and I'm sure the other guys feel the same way. I know Nick had when Nick was streaming H1 like that, like he was getting thousands of viewers and he was streaming it for like 24 hours at a time. I know it was something he ended up having to like mute the word Big T. So if anybody said Big T in his chat, it just got deleted because so many people were asking him. So we're going from a situation. It's obviously something that everybody wants is a chance to see different OpTic members playing together in different ways. I guess. Is it appropriate to say no homo there? Like what? No homo? I don't know. I don't know exactly how to do this in a podcast. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. If you've ever seen, I'm not going to rip off their videos, but I'm taking a lot of inspiration from the Node guys. They make some of the best videos when it comes to gameplay and co-op style. I want to do a lot of co-op things because 1v1s are fun, like seeing the shit talk, but working together and achieving something within OpTic that are like people are on different teams. Like it'd be so cool to have one of our PUBG guys play with, like Scump and Snakebite and Hex in like a Fortnite game. And obviously the PUBG guy is going to be amazing. And then everybody else is going to be mediocre. And I don't know. It would just be super interesting, and I think people would really like that sort of content. So all of that was on the whiteboard. What else was on there? Oh, like different other different viral style of content was on there. So there was different different ideas that I threw up there, like the mix and match players, or the sub out, I think it was called, something like that, where basically Formal replaces Snakebite in a Scrim series on Halo 5 and to see how the guys did, like something like that, something fun. And or we give Mixwell mouse and keyboard on Call of Duty and have him play a GB series with the COD guys. I think stuff like that would be super fun. And people would love to see it. The GOATs series, which I'm going ahead and solidifying that this was my idea, and I think people would love it because the GOAT within OpTic Gaming has always meant two different things. It has either meant Damon or it has meant Will, either Big Timer or Karma. A lot of people, if you say the GOAT in OpTic, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're talking about Big T. But also, if you say the GOAT when it comes to Call of Duty and OpTic, people are going to talk about Karma. So I think the GOATs series, both of them play tons of different games on tons of different consoles. I think the GOAT series, if it was a 2v2 and they play together in different games, I think that would be incredible. And I think people would love to see it because they're both hilarious. They're both really quick, really quick thinkers, really witty, and also really good at everything that they freaking play. So that, like, different series like that, gameplay in 2018 is going to be a very big thing. So it's all about setting it up right now, and then we're going to get to shoot Sting. We're finally getting to a point that I've been wanting to get to for a very long time, and this is everything that I've been focusing on. So, like, when it comes to vision, and when it comes to people's, I guess, frustrations with vision, this is why it's not high. Vision isn't high on my list right now because there's a lot more important things. Obviously, vision has become the backbone of OpTic content, and as much as that makes me happy, as far as, like, making the videos and shooting the videos and creating the idea for the videos, it's not necessarily a good thing, because OpTic is a gaming organization, and there's so much potential for us to get really high quality videos out and highly viewed and highly entertaining videos out when it comes to gameplay, and when it comes to different viral videos, like I say viral, like viral style videos, what we've been calling them, like mean tweets and like like trivia and different things like that. I think that if we do that enough, that we'll be able to increase the channel to new levels, and it doesn't have to just be Vision, and we don't have to put so much pressure on Vision, so that I can kind of take a step back and really refine Vision to what I would like it to be, because Vision hasn't been what I want it to be in a very long time. I'd say the last Call of Duty Vision was pretty good, but it wasn't great. I put a little bit of League of Legends in there, and people hated that. Some people hated that I put League of Legends in there. Some people hate that I didn't put enough League of Legends, because I didn't put anything in there, regarding how, like, an update on the team. It was just basically, it showed the behind the scenes of how we announced the team, because people say that all Vision is an announcement based thing, but nobody does any behind the scenes content. I don't know. Vision has changed so much, and there's very little that I can do about it. People say, I don't want to gear this too much around the people that critique Vision, and the people that are constantly like complaining about Vision. I don't want to seem like this is a defending podcast, and we're defending Vision. But I would say okay, we can talk about Vision a little bit. This is kind of stressful. Not stressful. I don't know why I said that, but talking about Vision has always been very, I guess, it's been hard for me not to get super defensive, because I feel like I've grown a lot in the last 2 years with how defensive I get. Developed a little bit of thicker skin, but when it comes to Vision, that's still one thing that kind of makes me snap every once in a while. And whenever Vision originally started, we were all in the Scuff House. People were very active with how they did content, with how they talked to each other, with how we hung out. And then as time goes on, people go to their rooms, close their doors, lock their doors. You don't see some people for 4 months at a time. You don't see some people for weeks at a time. So there is no behind the scenes content to be had in within the Scuff House. So then people say, well, Vision has changed. Vision's not what it used to be. Well, OpTic's not what it's used to be. That's the content is not what it used to be. Obviously, we went through a rough patch. When I say rough patch, I mean like probably rough year. Probably from March on in 2017. And there was a lot of reasons behind that, reasons that I can't get into, a lot of frustrations on both sides of the spectrum, and a lot of valid frustrations that can't really be explained unless you see me at an event, buy me a beer and get enough alcohol into me to tell you about some of the stuff that went down last year. But OpTic kind of changed. So then I take Vision from making it more like from making it a reality type show to making it more of a reality / highlight / behind the scenes version of telling the stories of different events. So then that was great. I think that was when Vision was at its peak, We're talking about episodes like Crossroads, episodes like Finals, episodes like The Distance. You know, those are all based around events, and those are all based around the highs and lows of OpTic. Trust the Process is another good one. They're all based around events, and they're all considered to be the best visions. Yet sometimes whenever people say, vision isn't what it used to be, now it's just a recap of events. Well, that's because that was what was working. That was what people wanted to see, was the recap of different events. And now we have gone from having 4 teams, which was already too much to cover within one vision. 4 teams. Whenever we had that, people were raking me over the coals. Whenever I would miss one thing. I would upload a video. When I go to this, I would upload a vision. I go to a CS event. I shoot the entire CS event. And then I say, one thing about Halo, and people are like, why isn't Call of Duty in this? And I'm like, do you understand this is a weekly video? Like I literally can't put all 4 teams in the video every single week. I can't do it. It's not possible. I first of all, it's getting to a point with 4 teams that I don't even know what's going on in all of the different teams. Like me trying to figure out what happened in CS in 2017 after we picked up that entire team and after they stayed in Chicago for a little bit, and then they moved overseas to Europe. I didn't even have the capability of keeping up with how many different tournaments they played, what their placings were, how they were going to make roster changes, if they thought they were going to make roster changes, who was doing well, who was doing the best on the team, who was doing the worst on the team. Like I have a vague idea of how they're doing or how they were doing, but it was so easy to know exactly when it was CS Halo within the Scuff House, that team, and then Call of Duty. I lived with half of those people, and the CS team was so new, and it was something that all the organization and the fans wanted for so long that it was really easy to keep up with it. But it became like impossible to cover everything, especially with just me and sometimes Aaron shooting events. So then we make the move down here, and now we've gone from having 4 teams to 8 teams. And I think it's a great move for the organization. Obviously, 8 different teams with the OpTic logo. That's crazy. And, we're eventually going to get to a point where OpTic does what OpTic always does and puts the people that are interested in being in content within content, and building their personal brand and seeing what they have when it comes to entertainment like that. And it's going to be great. But on the vision side, it's like a nightmare. Like I don't know what to do. And it's driving me bonkers. Like it drives me crazy. I feel guilty about a lot of things. I feel stressed out beyond belief, and at the same time, I feel like I have to put a vision out. If a vision doesn't come out on Tuesday, which we'll be changing it to Thursday again, But if a vision doesn't come out on Tuesday, the entire Tuesday, all my tweets are, where's Vision? Why isn't Vision out? Is Vision coming out today? Or why haven't you tweeted if there's going to be a Vision or not? A little bit of transparency would help. Like you're not doing your job, like stuff like that. I get it every single week. And then if I put out a Vision on Tuesday, on the YouTube comments, they really like it. It always has a really positive like to dislike ratio, but Reddit and Twitter and sometimes YouTube comments, they really like ream it kind of. It's like I put out an entire video about the COD team last week, and I tried everything in my power to get interviews with them, and they just I don't know, they didn't want to do them, or I couldn't convince them to do the interviews. And then I put out the video, talk a little bit about League of Legends, and then everybody's saying, you haven't said anything about Dota, and they're doing very, very well. So why are you showing all of this attention to Call of Duty? Why do you favor them over Dota? And in my opinion, I should be covering Dota, and I wish I could, but they travel literally every other weekend to different countries across the globe. And if you put me, I haven't traveled to an event. I haven't traveled to an event since Champs. The only two events I've been to since Champs were in Dallas, which I drove to. I haven't flown to an event in a very long time. So I haven't been able to travel anywhere. So covering anything that's not in my own little bubble is nearly impossible. And I haven't been doing that. You know, I've been covering stuff around the Scuff House, I've been covering the move, I've been covering the two events that were here. And, you know, it's been fine and dandy, but when it comes to giving an actual update on the Counter-Strike team or the Dota team or what we're doing in League of Legends or different things like that, like I can't do it. And it's been something that, you know, we've been in talks with, especially since a lot of my focus now isn't even on Vision, like at all. Like like I'd say 80% of my focus is on other things but Vision. Like I never think about shooting Vision. I never think about organizing Vision. The only thing I ever think about is where I have to travel to in order to shoot Vision, which this weekend is, you know, NOLA. So that has to be something that we think about in the future is, should we bring on somebody who only thinks about shooting Vision and behind the scenes stuff? But at the same time, Vision behind the scenes type content would only make sense if we had strictly OpTic offices, because Vision is an OpTic series. It's not like an Infinite series, because Infinite, like OpTic, the organization, and Hex, they're going to continue to give as much transparency to the fans as possible. That's what they do. That's what OpTic always has been. But ever since, you know, everything else has been incorporated into, like OpTic's been incorporated with everything else, all of that transparency is not going to happen. Like there's not going to be any. So when people are asking about, you know, Teep and they're asking about, you know, different things, different people that are getting hired and why, and they're nervous about OpTic. Like whenever I'm not saying this in a negative way or in a frustrating way, or I'm not saying this to make anybody upset, but you know, that they are under that side of thing is under that, those people and that side of the business is under no obligation to be transparent with the fans whatsoever. And they're not going to be. And so, you know, that part of what you've seen about the viewing experience is going to change. But that being said, OpTic is still going to be as transparent as possible. You're going to see all the content creators and all the videos. You're going to see, you know, whenever possible, you're going to see the esports players participating in, you know, their content, their particular content. Everybody's still streaming. Everybody's still doing everything that we've always done, but it's just this new realm is different, and it's not a bad thing. And so whenever I see people talking about how Hex fucked up or all these different, like, it's a great thing. This is a great move and a great, you know, a lot of great things are happening. But it's going to be different. It's different for everyone here. It's different for everyone who's being brought on. And it's going to be different for you guys. And so as long as you guys understand that, I think we'll be all right. And I think it's better, you know, I think it's better for us to tell you, for us or me, I guess, to tell you that, than for you to continue to wait around for somebody to sit down and write you out a flow chart about what all the hell has been happening over the past 6 months, when that's never going to happen. You know, and I don't know about never. Maybe Hex has plans one day, or Jay has plans one day to put it all out on the table, but that's not, obviously I'm not going to do that. That's not my decision. And, you know, that has to come from the whatever the flow chart is above me. That has to come from up there. All the bubbles above me, that has to come from up there. So basically I've kind of been wanting to talk about what I'm going to do with the future of Vision. I put out a tweet. People were not happy about the tweet. And then I try to talk about a little bit more about it on Reddit. I don't know what to do with Vision, man. So as of right now, I'm gonna do the best with what I have, which is tell a complete story when I have all the pieces to a complete story to make a complete video. Right now, talking about anything about Dota, when we have 0 Dota players here, all we have is Hex, and I mean, I guess a little bit of Jay, and then we also have Kodiak, who was the manager of Dota. When we have those 3 people here, then those are the only people we have here that know anything about Dota. So we can't build a complete story with just those 3 people. So I don't know. So when I go to these events, like the Call of Duty event or the Gears event, those are complete stories that I know how to tell and that I have all the pieces for. So those are going to be what I put in the video. But until then, until I have all the pieces for Dota or for CS, until I can get a complete, interview with a lot of people within the Dota team and also within the CS team, like I'm not going to talk about those videos. Or I'm not going to talk, it's not those videos. I'm not going to talk about those teams because it would just do a disservice to what they're doing and what they're accomplishing and what they're achieving and what they're failing at. Like it would just be one person talking. You might as well just watch a Scumpy vlog after he, a post event vlog where he talks about everything that happened that event. Like and I don't want Vision to be that. I want Vision to be something that people can get invested in. And I don't think if I put that out, people are gonna be like, what the hell is this? Why aren't we seeing any actual, gameplay, any actual footage, any actual behind the scenes content? Is because I wasn't there and because I don't have the ability to be there at the current moment. So I want people to understand this. And I don't think I've ever actively done this, but I apologize to the CS team. I apologize to the Dota team. And I apologize to the, PUBG team, because I haven't covered any 3 of those teams for a very long time. And I'm apologizing to people who probably don't even notice that I'm not there, by the way. So I also apologize to the fans of those teams. If you came onto OpTic if you became an OpTic fan strictly because of the Dota team, and now you're frustrated because I haven't mentioned the Dota team in a very long time, like I apologize to you, I guess. But also, like, it's frustrating for me. Like, I want you guys to understand, like, it's frustrating that I don't have, we move here in Frisco so that more pieces can be in place when it comes to videos like this, when it comes to Vision, when it comes to, these gameplay and viral type videos. But it's still not everything to put out a quality video, in my opinion. So, I hope that makes sense. And I hope that's something that, whenever I talked about it on Reddit, I talked about, or I said some things like, that I was going to only cover one team, or I was only going to cover one thing per Vision. That's not the case. I'm still going to cover multiple teams and multiple things happening within OpTic during Vision, but I also want everything that I cover to be complete. So if I have a complete segment of Call of Duty, and I also have a complete segment of Gears, I'm going to put both of those into one Vision. But I'm not going to half-ass one half of a Dota segment and just have Hex sitting down talking about Dota. Like it's been done before. It's been complained about before. It drags the video on, and it doesn't feel like I've done anything, I guess. And it doesn't feel like I've, respected, for lack of better word, respected the OpTic channel enough with putting out high quality content. So, I hope all that made sense, and I hope you guys aren't nervous, and I hope you guys aren't freaking out about anything like this. I know a lot of you guys are like, what are you even talking about? Like, who even cares? But there are people out there that do care. There are people that want transparency because that's how they fell in love with OpTic, and that's how they're going to continue to support OpTic. And it's still there. I want you guys to understand that this is me. I get in trouble a whole lot for being as transparent as possible within OpTic. And I hope I don't get in trouble for this video, but I don't think I will. Or this video / podcast. Where should I put? I think I'm just going to keep this as a video series. I'll let the Flycast and the OpTic podcast do their thing on the podcast style networks platforms. Like, I'm gonna keep this as a video. So hope I don't get in trouble for this video. I hope you guys continue to support OpTic. We really do love it, and we really do love you guys and the support that you guys give us. I'm trying my best to grind away on OpTic content, personal content, and just anything in between. Just trying to work hard, trying to get a lot done, and I hope you guys see that. I hope you guys have already seen that. If you haven't, I hope you see that in the very recent months to come. But that is going to do it for the around the bar. Gonna finish off this drink because I've been talking for so long that my mouth has become parched. So thank you guys for listening. See you next time.